Today, I want to walk you through some of the most important facts every gardener should know. Whether you're growing tomatoes, herbs, flowers, or a full backyard garden, these fundamentals shape everything you do. Once you understand these principles, gardening becomes less of a guessing game and more of a rhythm. Let's start with sunlight because it's the foundation of everything. Most vegetables need 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight every single day. That's not filtered light, not shade, but real sun. If you've ever had plants that grew tall and spindly, stretching toward the sky, that's a classic sign of too little sun. On the other hand, leafy greens like lettuce, spinach, and kale can tolerate partial shade. They actually appreciate cooler conditions. Understanding how the sun moves across your yard, morning sun, afternoon sun, and the shady pockets, is one of the most powerful tools you can have as a gardener. Next, let's talk about soil, because soil health is everything. Healthy soil isn't just dirt. It's a living ecosystem full of microbes, fungi, organic matter, and structure. Sandy soil drains too fast. Clay soil drains too slowly. But compost, good, rich compost, improves almost any soil. It adds nutrients, improves structure, and feeds the living organisms that help plants thrive. If you take nothing else from this talk, remember this: you're not just growing plants, you're growing soil, and the soil grows the plants. Watering is another area where beginners often struggle. The key is consistency. Plants prefer deep, infrequent watering rather than a little splash every day. When you water deeply, the roots grow downward, searching for moisture. When you water lightly, the roots stay near the surface, and the plant becomes weak and dependent. Overwatering is just as harmful. Roots need oxygen, and too much water suffocates them. Watering in the morning is ideal because it reduces evaporation and helps prevent disease. Temperature plays a bigger role than most people realize. Tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers love heat. They thrive when the nights are warm and the soil is warm. Cool season crops like lettuce, peas, and spinach do the opposite. They bolt or go to seed when temperatures rise. And here's something many gardeners overlook. Soil temperature often matters more than air temperature when it comes to germination. Seeds won't sprout until the soil is warm enough or cool enough for their liking. Another essential fact is knowing what type of plant you're dealing with. Annuals live for one season. Perennials come back year after year. Biennials take 2 years to complete their life cycle. And if you're growing tomatoes, which I know many of us do, understanding the difference between determinate and indeterminate varieties changes everything. Determinates grow like a bush and produce one big flush of fruit. Indeterminates grow like a vine and produce all season long. Knowing your plant type helps you plan your space, your pruning, and your harvest. One of the simplest but most powerful gardening principles is this: right plant, right place. Some plants hate wet feet. Lavender and rosemary are great examples. Others love moisture, like mint and celery. Some plants need space to breathe, like squash and tomatoes. When you match a plant to the conditions it prefers, it thrives. When you force it into a spot it doesn't like, you'll fight problems all season. Most pests and diseases don't show up randomly. They show up when a plant is stressed. A plant that's underwatered, overwatered, lacking nutrients, or sitting in poor soil becomes vulnerable. A healthy plant, on the other hand, can resist or recover from issues much more easily. So instead of reaching for sprays or treatments right away, the first question should always be, what stress is this plant experiencing? Fix the stress, and the plant often heals itself. Pollinators are essential partners in the garden. Bees, butterflies, and even the wind help move pollen from flower to flower, allowing fruit to form. If you want better yields, plant flowers near your vegetables. Marigolds, zinnias, sunflowers, and herbs like basil and dill attract pollinators and beneficial insects. A garden that welcomes pollinators is a garden that produces. Soil pH is one of the most overlooked factors in gardening. Most vegetables prefer a pH between 6.0 and 7.0. When the pH is too acidic or too alkaline, nutrients in the soil become locked up. They're there. The plant just can't access them. A simple soil test can tell you where you stand, and once you know your pH, you can make adjustments that dramatically improve plant health. Finally, gardening is not a one-time task. It's a cycle. Soil improves over years, not weeks. Composting, mulching, rotating crops. These are long-term habits that build a healthier garden season after season. The more you observe, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the more gardening becomes second nature. So to wrap up, sunlight, soil, water, temperature, plant types, pollinators, pH, and long-term care. These are the pillars of successful gardening. When you understand these fundamentals, you can grow almost anything. Gardening isn't about perfection. It's about paying attention, making adjustments, and enjoying the process. Thanks for watching Gardening in Balashes.